From scars to stars, turning your pain into your purpose. What if the worst thing that ever happened to you was actually the best thing that ever happened for your future? I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say, especially when you feel like you're drowning in a situation that makes no sense, but stay with me. Most of us spend our entire lives trying to run away from our problems or hide our scars because we're ashamed of them. We think that our pain is a mistake or a sign that we've failed at life. But what if those very things you're trying to hide are actually the keys to your greatest mission? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop being a victim of your history and start using it as your greatest tool. We're going to look at people who lost everything and used that empty space to build something world-changing, and I'll give you a step-by-step plan to do the same. If you've ever felt like your struggle was for nothing, you need to hear this, because there's a reason you're still standing. Why we hurt and what it really means. Before we can fix anything, we have to be honest. Pain is heavy. It's exhausting. Whether it's a breakup that left you feeling worthless, a health scare that took away your freedom, or a financial mess that makes you want to stay in bed all day, it's real. The first mistake we make is trying to pretend it's not there. We put on a brave face and tell everyone we're fine while we're crumbling inside. But you can't transform what you refuse to look at. Think of it like a wound. If you just put a band-aid over a deep cut without cleaning it out, it's just going to get worse under the surface. You have to acknowledge the wound before it can heal. But here's the secret: your pain is actually a compass. Have you ever noticed that the things that hurt you the most are often the things you care about the most? If you're hurting because you felt lonely, it means you have a deep, beautiful capacity for connection. If you're hurting because someone treated you unfairly, it's because you have a burning passion for justice. Your pain points directly to your passion. It's like a giant neon sign flashing and saying, "This part of the world is broken, and it matters to me." We usually spend years asking the question, why me? Why did I get sick? Why did they leave me? Why did I lose my job? But that question is a trap. It keeps you stuck in the past, looking for a reason that might never come. To turn things around, you have to change the question to, what for? Instead of asking why this happened to you, start asking what this happened for star. What can you do with this experience? How can this data of distress help you understand what's wrong in the world and how to fix it? Changing the way you see your story. To move forward, you have to become an alchemist. Back in the day, alchemists were people who tried to turn cheap metals like lead into gold. Most of them failed at the literal science, but the mental alchemy is very real. It's the process of taking a heavy, dark, leaden experience and turning it into something valuable. When you stop seeing your struggle as a burden and start seeing it as an education, everything changes. One of the biggest superpowers you get from going through hard times is empathy. You can't learn empathy from a book. You can't watch a video and suddenly understand what it feels like to lose a parent or go bankrupt. You have to live it. Once you've walked through the fire, you become fluent in someone else's struggle. You can look someone in the eye who is going through what you went through and say, "I know exactly how you feel," and they'll actually believe you. That connection is more powerful than any degree or professional certification. Think about the lessons you've learned in the waiting room of your life. While you were waiting for things to get better, you were actually building muscles you didn't know you had. You were learning grit. You were learning how to be resourceful when you had no money. You were learning how to be patient when everything was moving too slowly. These aren't just survival skills, they are the curriculum for your future purpose. You've been in a classroom this whole time, and the world is waiting for you to share what you've learned. The hardest part of this shift is detaching from shame. We think our stories are secrets that need to be buried. We think if people knew the truth about our failures, they'd judge us. But the truth is the exact opposite. Your story isn't a secret, it's a lighthouse. When you share how you survived the storm, you help other people navigate their own. You don't have to be perfect to be a leader, you just have to be a few steps ahead of someone else and willing to reach back and pull them up. The woman who turned a diagnosis into a revolution. Let's look at some real-world examples, because this isn't just fluffy talk. Take Chris Carr, for instance. Imagine being in your early 30s, feeling like your life is just starting, and suddenly being diagnosed with a rare and terminal stage 4 cancer. Most people would, understandably, give up or hide away. But Chris did something different. She stopped asking, "Why is this happening?" and started documenting her journey. She turned her kitchen into a lab. She researched everything about plant-based living, wellness, and how to fuel her body. She didn't just try to survive, she tried to thrive. She started a blog, wrote books, and made a documentary. She took the most terrifying experience a human can have and turned it into a foundation for a global community. Her pain didn't go away, she still has to live with her condition, but she gave that pain a job. Her purpose became helping millions of people take charge of their health. Because she suffered, she was able to build a bridge for others to find their way to wellness. She didn't let the diagnosis be the end of her story, she made it the opening chapter of her life's work. Turning grief into justice. Then there's the story of Candy Lightner. In 1980, Candy's 13-year-old daughter was killed by a drunk driver. It's the kind of loss that can paralyze a person for the rest of their life. The driver was a repeat offender, and at the time, the laws were incredibly weak. Candy was angry, and she had every right to be. But instead of letting that anger burn her up from the inside, she focused it. She founded MAD, which stands for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. She took her personal tragedy and used it as fuel to change the laws of an entire country. She went to the state capitol, she talked to the media, and she didn't stop until people listened. Because of one mother's pain, thousands of lives have been saved. Her grief was the catalyst for a massive shift in public awareness and legislation. She didn't just sit in her pain, she put her pain to work. She turned a senseless death into a movement that ensures other parents don't have to feel what she felt. That is the definition of turning pain into purpose. Building a foundation at rock bottom. You've probably heard of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter books. But a lot of people forget what her life looked like before the fame. She was a single mother living on government benefits, struggling with deep depression, and feeling like a total failure. She has famously said that rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. When you have nothing left to lose, you're finally free to try anything. Her struggle with poverty and mental health didn't just hold her back, it informed her writing. The Dementors in her books, those creatures that suck all the joy out of a room, were actually a physical representation of her own struggle with depression. If she hadn't known that darkness personally, those books wouldn't have resonated with millions of people the way they did. Her failure gave her the depth she needed to create something legendary. She didn't succeed in spite of her pain, she succeeded because she used her pain to tell a story that felt true to people. How to find your own purpose. So, how do you do this? How do you take your own mess and turn it into a message? It starts with a gap analysis. Look at the area of your life where you've felt the most pain. Now, look at how the world handles that problem. Is there a gap? Is there something you wish someone had told you when you were at your lowest point? That gap is where your purpose lives. If you wish there was a support group for people like you, maybe you're the one who needs to start it. If you wish there was a better way to navigate a specific struggle, maybe you're the one who needs to design it. Next, do a skill set inventory. You might think you haven't learned anything, but look closer. If you were lonely, you likely learned how to be self-reliant. If you were bullied, you likely learned how to observe people and understand their motivations. If you lost everything, you learned how to survive on very little. These are survival skills that you can now teach to others. You are more equipped than you think. A great way to start is the one-person rule. Don't try to change the whole world on day one. Just identify one person who is currently where you used to be. Think about the version of yourself from 3 or 5 years ago. What did that person need? Go find someone who is in that spot right now and help them. When you help one person get through a trial that you've already survived, your pain suddenly feels like it was worth something. It wasn't just bad luck anymore, it was training. Finally, try to write a mission statement. It sounds professional, but it's really simple. Just finish this sentence: because I went through, I am now dedicated to helping achieve. For example, because I struggled with a paralyzing fear of public speaking, I am now dedicated to helping shy students find their voice and share their ideas. Suddenly, your past isn't a weight dragging you down, it's the engine pulling you forward. Keeping your mission sustainable. As you start using your story to help others, you have to be careful. You can't pour from an empty cup. You need boundaries. Helping people who are in pain can be draining, especially if their pain reminds you of your own. Make sure you're practicing self-care and that you've done the work to heal your own wounds before you try to be a surgeon for someone else. You don't want to re-traumatize yourself. Also, remember that you don't have to do this alone. Purpose is rarely a solo journey. Once you start speaking your truth, you'll find your tribe, people who have been through similar things and want to help too. There is massive power in community. When a group of people who have all been broken in the same way get together, they become an unstoppable force for change. You are a kintsugi masterpiece. In Japan, there's a beautiful tradition called kintsugi. When a piece of pottery breaks, they don't throw the pieces away. Instead, they put them back together using a special glue mixed with gold. The idea is that the piece is now more beautiful and more valuable because it was broken. The cracks aren't hidden, they are highlighted in gold. That's exactly what happens when you turn your pain into your purpose. You aren't fixed by pretending the break never happened. You are made whole by filling those cracks with the gold of your wisdom, your empathy, and your mission. You are more beautiful because of what you've survived, not in spite of it. Your history is not your destiny, but it is definitely your greatest curriculum. The world doesn't need more perfect people who have never struggled. The world needs people like you, people who have been to the bottom, found a way back up, and are willing to show others the path. Check out this next video to learn how to rebuild your confidence after a major setback.